What will go away if you ignore it? Your job. Your phone bill. They will eventually stop calling. As a matter of fact, everyone will. Your girlfriend. Your teeth, and health in general. Ignore it and it will go. Not quietly though. My small desire to be productive. Jehovah's Witnesses. My dad always told me medical problems. If you ignore a medical issue long enough, you either die or get better, a win-win in my book. Embarrassing memories of that thing you did in 3rd grade, it won't go away forever, but for about 7 minutes it feels like it does. People's drama. I find if you ignore it when people complain, female doggy, about drama, they tend to stop talking to you about it. Therefore, it goes away. People. They either get bored or starve to death. Affection and/or friendship. Anxious thoughts. Ignoring them, interrupting them with something purposefully redirects your thinking. Source: I have generalized anxiety disorder. Sleep paralysis demon? An erection. Edit: my most upvoted comment is going to be a hard act to follow. Anything wrong with your 1998 Toyota Corolla? Chest pains. Eventually you'll have one last horrible chest pain, and it'll be your last one. Please don't ignore chest pains. Friendships. You see this as you get older, and have kids. Gets so much harder to see your friends and you grow apart. Sucks. An ice cube. A bully. Ha 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 ha, just kidding. Pimples for sure. A wasp. Seriously, stop flapping like a drunk octopus and ignore it. The Amazon rainforest. This post. Facebook. People who insult you. They want a reaction. Don't give it to them and they will give up. Time. Halley's Comet. But it'll come back 75 years later. This is something I live by, and can work in a host of different situations. If you think you're in trouble and don't know what to do, don't do anything. I have avoided so much garbage in my life just from keeping my head down, it's not funny. This is my personal credo, it's not foolproof, but it's more than good enough to be my default reaction. Infants. Garbage news. Don't click on it. Don't share it. At the very least, don't directly link to it. Turn the TV off. My earbuds. Boiling water because it would all evaporate. Well, that's what I tell myself anyway. That annoying little voice telling me that I have to focus on this one thing and get it completely resolved here and now, and that I can't do anything else until then. OCD can be a pain. Most people. Anti-vax kids. Really excited dogs. Cross your arms, don't look at them, talk to them, or react in any way. Be a boring statue and they'll leave you alone pretty darn quick. It's step 1 for stopping jumping or other annoying high arousal attention-seeking behaviors. Life. Anxiety. Oh wait. My cat. Your teeth. Your spouse. Your self-respect. Love. Me. Your enjoyment in life. Debt collectors, that and using the block number feature on phone. Friends, your job. The Kardashians. They literally make money of people watching and taking about them. Itches. My self-confidence. Technically, all bleeding will stop on its own. Eventually. Your child. Teeth. Annoying toddlers that aren't yours. My nephew pretty much knows when I'm over him at this point. Lol. Narcissists. Duolingo notifications. I am pretty lucky in my life. And I have always ignored every problem I've had. And eventually it does actually go away. Or it stops being a problem. I didn't notice I did this until high school, when I would tell my friends about how I would just ignore whatever it is that seemed to making an inconvenience, and it just stopped eventually. Don't know the answer to my medals class test because I didn't study. Get chosen to possibly make 100% by tossing a loosely balled up paper into the trash can. My medals teacher was amazing, anyway I made the shot purely by luck. There is no way I could do it again. But got 100 on that particular test. Just chose to go ignore the problem and it will eventually go away. Edit: this crippling loneliness is taking a long time to go away though. I recently just beat cancer at 13. When I would stay at the hospital they would have to test my urine. Capri Suns made me pee better, and the floor had Capri Suns on the floor. Long story short, I depleted the Capri Sun supply on the whole floor twice. The cafeteria ended up making a rule that you have to order Capri Suns through them. My old job, my numbers were suffering, and I was told I needed to shape up or I would be done. The way I saw it, there was no possible way to meet the numbers by following the process. It turned out I was right. Everyone else came to the conclusion, but no one challenged leadership. So everyone was doing their own thing, then doctoring up the system notes after the fact to make it look like the established business rules were effective. So I'm like, fluff it, I'm getting fired anyway. I documented everything I was doing different, in great detail, showing how my way was faster. Eventually I was found out, and I presented my findings, as well as my evidence of the doctoring everyone else was doing. As a result, they asked me to evaluate the processes for the entire department, and I ended up finding numerous areas of waste and inefficiencies, which we implemented to streamline things 2 to 3 times faster than before. On top of that, I was placed in charge of a special expedite team, to whom the rules did not apply, and we were given free rein to accomplish our assigned high-priority tasks by any means necessary. I've moved on to another division, but the policies are still in effect today, and the expedite team is still a thing. Edit, skimmed the comments and I figure I'll address some of the recurring themes. I would say it wasn't courageous per se, I just literally had nothing to lose. If you wanted to pin a virtue to it, I would say integrity, because I wasn't going to lie. I'm not going to reveal any identifying information, but this was for a CVO. Basically, if you say you're a board-certified cardiologist, it's our job to verify that your credentials are all accurate, current, and there are no sanctions against your ability to practice. We don't want people to go sending patients to Dr. Hannibal Lecter or anything. I'm no longer in that department. I've moved on to it, doing site administration, web development, etc. And yes, I'm aware of how lucky I am my leadership listened to me instead of just stonewalling. I was kind of dumbstruck, as I was fully expecting an obstinate "we don't care about your facts, we care about the process" line. I'd even taken home most of my personal effects by then, and everything else I could fit in my duffel bag. To find out I didn't need it was not only a relief, but also a bit panic-inducing, because I was totally not prepared to audit every other function's process. But anyway, that mentality sort of spread throughout the organization, and now we have dedicated individuals whose sole purpose is to sit down with people and watch them do their jobs, and ask the stupid questions. That looks like it takes a long time, why do you have to do it that way, or etc. And you'd be surprised how many times, at least at first. It's been a good 10 years now, so we've cut away a lot of fat people just stopped and went, you know. I have no idea. That really doesn't make sense, does it? In project management circles that's known as a Gemba walk. You go to where the work is done, and try to find ways it can be done more efficiently, without sacrificing quality. A lot of the time it's because people simply don't know there's a better way. Like manually drawing a chart because they were completely unaware Excel could draw a chart for them based on a data table. And thanks for the gold. I just recently started using Reddit, and that's actually my first one. My mum is the reason they chained down the nativity scene at our local casino. Last year she tried to make off with the baby Jesus. No black lipstick in my high school dress code. Then further amended to no unnatural lip colors. The Christmas tree will be anchored to the wall. My elementary school banned plastic knives from the cafeteria because my friends and I would steal a bunch and pretend to be in the Hunger Games and fake stab each other at lunch. If you can solve a Rubik's Cube, you're not allowed to have one in class. My roommate in college documented everything I did in a blog, which included pictures of my stuff. I tried immature ways of getting her to stop. I followed her blog. I didn't know how to do proper conflict resolution. I had already asked if something was up and she said no, which turned out to be a lie, as I then found the blog. She made a new blog about me, and when I found that, I asked her to stop. She wouldn't. A friend told an raw. Nothing happened to her, but the next year, there were new cyberbullying rules in place. For those curious, her main complaints were how quickly I got out of bed, how I would nap before my work shifts, and how I wouldn't take out her recycling. A friend and I were skipping state-mandated senior year testing because we didn't have homeroom classes, and were having breakfast at a restaurant, with our parents' permission, when the school district superintendent and our high school principal got seated at the booth right behind us. Some snarky comments and a couple of parental get-out-of-jail-free cards later, we both got off with no consequences, but from the next year on the school worked with city and county law enforcement to ensure no one else got away with the same thing. As far as I know they're still doing county-wide restaurant sweeps 20-some-odd year later. Edit, a word. Edit 2, another word. Only 2 servings of fried okra allowed at my college cafeteria. I went to college in the South. I had never tasted fried okra before. I went crazy and ate plateful after plateful.